Hi, and welcome to another episode. This thumbnail, they want to kill us. They're pretty chilling words, aren't they? I mean, Harry didn't exactly say those words, but it's what he meant. I mean, Harry's what he said echoed with fear, trauma, and deep distrust. He is paranoid. But what happens when a royal anxiety intersects with public scrutiny and when the psychological effects begin to trickle down to the youngest generation of the monarchy? Prince Harry has made many controversial statements over the years, hasn't he? But none more haunting than his claim that he and Meghan fear for their lives. You know, in a world of palace security, private estates, and media empires, the idea of danger may seem far fetched. But to Harry, it's personal and it's terrifying. He thinks he's being singled out because he married a biracial woman. Whether it's his trauma from Diana's tragic death or the relentless British tabloid machine, Harry has made it clear he believes there are forces working against him. You know, aliens coming down in spaceships, people, conspiracies that they're going to kill him, etc., etc. I mean, Princess Diana went on to say that she thought that Charles was going to tamper with her car and she was going to die in an accident. Unfortunately, she did die in an accident, but not the way that she thought it may occur, but she planted that seed. And because she planted that seed, look what happened to the royal family, especially Charles, for years and years and years. Up until now, people still blame the Charles for her death. You killed Diana. You see it all the time on social media. So he has planted the seed now that if anything happens to him, his wife, or his children, that the blame basically is his father's and the royal family, the institution. But he doesn't take into consideration all the actions that he's actually doing and putting his own life at risk. Does he really know that his life is at risk? Has he stepped on too many toes? Just because he goes out there and does the wrong thing and creates havoc and puts his own life at risk instead of being a decent person, he wants to make sure that everybody knows that if something happens to them, it's the palace's fault. It is disgusting what he has done. Absolutely disgusting. You know, it just really pisses me off because just imagine if something happened to him. It's going to be hell to pay for Charles. We live in a world now, it's completely different to when Diana was around, but we live in a digital world now where there's all this online harassment. You know, we know that Harry and Meghan have got a massive thing going on with that, but news travels in lightning speeds these days. You don't have to wait for a magazine to be published to know something, or get up at 4 a.m. to go get the newspaper. I don't know if you guys used to do that, but if there was something major happening, you'd get up and get that first paper that was printed fresh off the press in the morning. We don't have to do that now. It's like lightning speed, everything's bang on the internet. And for that reason, we live in a very dangerous world for many reasons. If something happened, I think the palace would be, they won't go down, but a lot of people will be blaming Charles again because the dimwit has gone and put it out there so everybody knows, just like Diana did. And I mean, we know how that turned out. He is terrified. Harry's terrified. What is he terrified about? You know, Harry's made it clear he believes there are forces working against him and his family. He keeps doing that. because Meghan has put that shit in his head. But behind the headlines is a deeper concern. Archie and Lily, from debates over royal titles to the couple's decision to raise their children in California, it's clear Harry and Meghan are doing everything to shield them from what they see as a toxic institution. The way they're trying to shield them is by using them as a pawn with King Charles. But is this protection or projection? You know, I used to work in child protection. I've said it in many videos. And one thing that we learnt in our studies and on the job, you know, if you parents that show children or parents that live in fear, children absorb it. Hypervigilance, emotional isolation, and mistrust of others can become learnt behaviours. Can you imagine what those children are going through and are going to go through? It's child abuse, and I'll keep on saying that until I have a voice. The Sussexes' public battles, legal fights, media interviews, and security pleas could leave lasting scars on these children. The line between protection and paranoia grows thinner every day. He is so freaking paranoid. Royal grandchildren aren't just kids, they're symbols. They're symbols of lineage, power, unity, or in this case, they are division. You see it all the time. Online debates, Archie and Lily are used as tools to defend, to accuse, or to speculate. This isn't just tabloid cruelty, it's a form of digital trauma, and Harry knows this. He knows that this is going to cause trauma to those children, and he continually does it. He continually allows it. Can a family live freely when they believe that they're hunted? You know, he thinks that he's hunted, that people are hiding, waiting to ping him. It's a freaking Fruit Loop. Can his children grow up healthy when raised in a bunker of emotional and physical security? Is Harry right to sound the alarm? Or has a trauma blurred his lens on reality? And being with that Fruit Loop of a wife, she's just instigating fear in all three of them. She doesn't give a shit. You know, they're the ones that are conducting this big operation online. But, you know, they better think long and hard, because their just desserts might be just around the freaking corner. And he might want to save his tears for when it lands on his lap. Because what they're doing, they're allowing people to use devices to abuse, harass, etc., etc. And you know, you think your private messages are safe. Think again. I'll just talk about our law here. Under our law here, Telecommunications Interception and the Access Act, your data, your calls, even your texts can be legally accessed under certain conditions. This is not a sci-fi thing like in a movie. It's a federal law. The Telecommunications Interception and Access Act 1979 makes it an offence to intercept or access communications passing over a telecommunications system without proper authority. So basically, you know what? In plain English, it means only law enforcement agencies with a warrant can legally listen to your phone calls or read your messages. But you know what? There's a kicker. Metadata details like who you called, when, and for how long can often be accessed without a warrant. Do you know that? There's increasing surveillance powers handed to agencies under national security clauses. Critics warn the Act always allows too much discretion and not enough transparency. You don't need to be a criminal to be caught on the internet. So next time you hit the send button, remember your private communication might not be so private. Anything can be accessed. All their little minions that are out there abusing everyone and whatever. They face, the pair of them, and their freaking operation that they got going, face so many criminal charges. Depending on how many people are in this operation, boots on the ground, how many times are they going to be charged with the crime? If you know what I mean. Just say, for instance, they had 10 people doing it. Will that be 10 charges that they will have to go up for having those 10 people to commit those crimes online? You are not allowed to use a telecommunications device to do what they're doing. Harry's screwed. Meghan is screwed. I bet you they're running freaking scared, and so they should be. What do you think they worry about themselves? You know, he wanted to get that security so he didn't have to go up for criminal activity. Not only are they abusing those poor children, and, you know, let's not be cruel, they're children. They need to be loved and nurtured and raised safely, of course. But what they're doing to them is disgusting. Look at that photo she posted. Oh, look, Archie, it's okay. You've got your own little balcony here while you look up there to your alleged family on their big balcony. Do you think Archie's going to give a shit about their millions when he's older? He's going to be going, why did you take me away from my billionaire family? Who gives a shit about your millions? You know, it's not only just about the money, it's all the emotional trauma they're causing those children. Not only what they're doing on the internet and that stuff, etc. They don't even give a shit that they are abusing their children. And a 40-year-old man can sit on a couch and go, oh, it's going to be all my father's fault. Papa wants to kill me. What a disgusting piece of shit Harry is. A disgusting piece of shit. He is a disgrace to the royal family. He is a disgrace to the UK and the Commonwealth. He is a disgrace to the whole wide world. He's an awful, awful piece of work. I have zero sympathy for him at all. He needs to go and get his mental health sorted. You know, he can order a takeaway, but he couldn't order a psychologist for his wife because she was going to top herself. Bullshit. Ugh. I'm up to pussy's bow with these two. But you know what? The day couldn't come soon enough for these two to get their just desserts legally. And they bloody well deserve it. Anyway, thanks for listening again to my... Is it a TED Talk? Are you allowed to say that? Or is it just a whole lot of banter? Take good care of yourselves. Bye.